Welcome to Accelerate My Practice. So glad you could join me here today. Today I want to talk about the future of dentistry, the future of dentistry as a whole. Because there's a lot of people who are concerned about how the solo practitioner is going to be able to survive compared to all the corporate dentistry and everything else that's changing. You got conglomerates popping up in terms of some of the manufacturing companies. It's causing a great deal of concern and angst for a lot of people. So I want to start by sharing a video that I really enjoy that I think will speak to this challenge and this issue some, and then we'll come back and talk about the relevancy for the dental industry and how I think there's some application here. We'll watch this and we'll be right back.
We live in a world of outrageous pain. We are challenged by extinction-level problems, and everywhere we look, we see unbearable suffering. In the face of this outrageous pain, we close our hearts. We also live in a world of outrageous beauty. Every day, we see acts of kindness, generosity, courage, and creation. We are living in an extraordinary time when a small group can make a difference in the lives of 1 billion people.
We live in a world of limited resources. We live in a world that there are many challenges and problems.
If we don't do something, there's a question about whether the species may survive.
Awareness is not enough. Action is required.
There's so much energy when there's something bigger than yourself to serve.
I really believe that every one of us has some sort of special gift to give.
You have to find where you fit, where your uniqueness has something to offer that somebody might need.
It is what only I can do according to my uniqueness that no one else can do exactly like me.
I'll never forget having to make that choice. I can take the safe path or I can follow the path of my soul.
Just by being who we authentically are, it creates ripples in anybody and everybody who comes in our path, and it changes them.
Whenever we follow our authentic path, the universe rises to support us in ways that we cannot imagine.
When you find your calling and you say yes to it, you're saying yes to the indwelling God.
We stand at the tipping point of a new future.
The choices you and I make will impact the future of life for the next 1,000 years. Rather than that being a burden, it gives us the opportunity to live the most meaningful lives any generation of humankind has ever lived.
We can destroy ourselves, or we can create a whole new world.
All around us, people are rising up, taking matters into their own hands, committing acts of outrageous love, and daring to reshape the world. We are creating the future we want, a world that works for everyone. We are evolving the source code of evolution. Now the question is, what will you do?
You know, it's a powerful video about the future, and you know, I love the fact that they start off with the Charles Dickens quote, "A Tale of Two Cities." It was the best of times and it was the worst of times. Because to me, that's so true of dentistry right now, right? There are so many people that are doing really well. However, you go back to 2008, and I'm sure people would have said more people were doing really well. And there's no doubt that some of what happened since 2008, it changed forever the dental industry and the economy as a whole, even for that matter. So I love some of the concepts they throw in there that, you know, there are so many people who are in pain and suffering. You know, that's true of patients, that's true of employees in dental offices, that's true of doctors. You know, the pain level of some is so much higher than it used to be. There's no doubt that the business world, the business climate used to be easier, but it's not going to go back. The fork in the road is something that's already taken place. We've already gone down that one road. But every single day, we have a choice. We have a choice. We're at a fork in the road every single time. We have the ability to make that next right decision So I think about the suffering that we do, and I'm a huge fan of Tony Robbins. I'm sure everybody knows that, but I love how he talks about suffering is a choice. And to someone who's suffering, man, that feels like a slap in the face. And I've had my fair share of suffering, sadly. And I know when I heard that one time when I was in fact suffering, man, it just pissed me off. It's all there was to it. I don't know how to say it nicely. It pissed me off. But he was right. It was a choice that I was making to remain in that place suffering. And if you read any authors like Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning, there are so many people who have been through really tough times. I mean, really tough times compared to anything we'll ever experience. For those of you who don't know Viktor Frankl, he was a Holocaust survivor. So here's someone who literally was on his deathbed many times, watched his whole family be slaughtered, and yet he made different choices. He made different choices to live life a different way, not to suffer, and then came out and got to live a very fulfilled life afterwards, after he survived it. So it's interesting to see how that is. They also talk about limited resources. We all have limited resources. The two biggest ones that we're limited on is time and money. What else is there? I guess we could say love too, but so many people define love as love is only something that's given to me. And you know what I learned, and I get to see in that video, is you get to experience love when you help someone else. You go to the third world country and you're like Dr. Tom's or Tom's Shoes or whatever the name of the company is, and you're donating millions and millions of pairs of shoes to people, and those children, as you're just giving them shoes, man, those people are loving you, and you're getting to experience it by giving love, by donating. And so how much limited resources do we have? We're limited by our own resources and our own creativity. That's the whole point of this. You know, we've got to act on something that's bigger than ourselves. So many of ourselves get caught up in this little world, living this little world that is so myopic and short-sighted about everything going on. It's just all about me, 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 me. And all of a sudden what we miss out on is the ability to do something bigger than ourselves. And I love that story. I also love the story about your uniqueness and the safe path or the path of your soul. Man, I tell you what, I lived that one for a long time. I lived the one where I was taking the safe path. I was not honoring my uniqueness, because my uniqueness is to be here, being energetic, excited, and trying to share a message of optimism and hope for the future. And I wasn't living it. And now I'm getting to live the path of my soul for sure. Was it easy? No, it was tough. Man, it was real tough. I made a lot of mistakes. I'm still making a lot of mistakes, and I bet you I have a lot more to come. But I can't tell you how fulfilling it feels in my heart. You know, their last comment was that we're at the tipping point of a new future. If any of you have read The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell, amazing book, wonderful book. And it's all about how can you build up enough momentum to just absolutely blow through whatever it is that's holding you back. How applicable are all these things to your personal life, to your practice? How many of us are sitting there not living the life of our soul? We're taking the safe path because insurance covers it. Instead of looking at the patient going, hey, this is what you really need. Let me tell you why you really need it. You're welcome to choose whatever you want, but I'm going to be passionate about why you really need it. What do you think they'd choose? I love this message about rising up. I love this message about rising up your performance, the level of accountability that you hold yourself to, instead of just settling and taking the safe path. Because I think if we all rise up in our lives, our businesses, supporting those around us, our loved ones, our children, our sisters, our brothers, our moms, our dads, our coworkers, everybody else, if we all rise up our level of performance with all those people around us, what kind of an impact would we have? How much more fulfilling and enjoyable would life be if we were willing to do that? It's our choice. We can choose the path of suffering, or we can choose to rise up. And we have to make that choice every single day. And if we're really being honest, we have to make that choice of every minute of every single day. It feels a little overwhelming when you think about it that way. So we'll just start with every single day. How about you just get up every single morning, start your day with a bit of gratitude, and go, man, I just got 2 amazing gifts. Both my eyes opened up. How cool is that? I know it sounds silly and cheesy, but man, some people don't get to wake up in the morning. My mom was one of them. One day she just didn't get to wake up. So it is an amazing gift every single day to watch both those eyes open up. and then to be able to go out and serve others and help others change their lives, and hopefully infect them with this virus called optimism and hope. Man, I hope they don't ever come up with a cure for that virus, because I love it, and it's a disease I hope to spread like crazy, because it's an amazing feeling to be able to share hope and optimism with people. And you get to do it in your dental practice every single day, transforming lives. You know, I had a doc one day that was kind of joking around. I was like, hey, what do you do? You know, kind of being silly. He goes, I'm stamping out disease one tooth at a time. And it was hilarious and a little cheesy, but it was totally real and awesome. It was authentic for who that guy is, because he's a little cheesy and funny. It's what makes him awesome. That's his uniqueness. That's him living his soul path. He does stand-up comedy on the weekends. It's hilarious. It's great. What do? Do you just trudge through life, barely getting through, with your head held low, not sure where it's going to go next, not sure if you're having any fun? Or do you live life to the fullest? You know, I heard someone speak once. It was like, what would you do different with your life if you knew you were going to die tomorrow? How would you live it? And it was really humbling, because I looked around and I realized I wasn't living my life the way I'd really want to live it. And perhaps it's time to change it, because we never know when tomorrow's going to come. My mom did not know that tomorrow wasn't going to come. I've had other friends who did not know that tomorrow wasn't going to come. Heart attack, car accidents, you never know. So my encouragement to you today is to rise up. Go live life like there is no tomorrow. Doesn't mean you got to be reckless and stupid. Don't misunderstand that. But that does mean that you can go out and have great gratitude, love the people you're around, and just enjoy your day. And I'd be willing to bet you're going to enjoy it financially so much higher, because you're going to get more back. I think you'll love it. That's my message for the day. I hope you enjoy it. I can't wait to see you next week, 8 o'clock Mountain, 10 o'clock on the East Coast. Until then, go rise up.
What if you could have the practice of your dreams? What's holding you back? Imagine a life where you have everything you ever wanted.